Hey folks, welcome to my quick little video. This is a short video on the scenery I ported over. So we are in Prepar3D 4.0 or version 4 of Prepar3D. And the scenery you're looking at right now, this is from Earth Simulations. It was, I think, released in 2010, maybe a little bit later. This was the Isle of Man scenery. It was payware, and it was designed for FSX. I was able to put it into the early versions of Prepar. What happened was last night I was thinking about, well, I don't think Earth Simulations exists anymore. I'm not even sure if you can buy the scenery. If you didn't download it or have a disc, you may be shit out of luck. But I felt that they had really produced a great product for the Isle of Man, and I wanted to give it a shot. So I got up this morning, sat down for a little bit, poured it over, and I would say it's pretty nice. 70-80%, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how picky you are. But it seems all the airports are in, the helipads are in. This is the main airport on the Isle of Man, and in front of me you see those black textures. That's basically a parking revetment for an aircraft, and it's the only textures that I couldn't get to work. The other issue is that when you're loading the scenery, there's 13 files that need to be loaded into your scenery file, and the order that originally came with the readme no longer works. So what you have to do is basically put all the airports, which I think there's 4, and then the helipads is 5, at the top of that 13 file list. So at the very top of the 13 files, you want your airports as opposed to what the readme says. And I started off with the biggest airport at the very top and then worked my way down. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm putting it in a higher priority. My ORBX is at the very top of my list. Everything that I added to the sim so far, pretty much, with the exception of Key West and 29 Palms, I believe, maybe one more, are above ORBX. But I put all this add-on scenery that I'm basically putting in or porting in below all my ORBX in Prepar3D 4.0. I haven't had an issue. Also with the scenery, if you have the package and you open it up, you know, there was a patch that was created for the software. And then on top of that, there was also 3 files for your AutoGen folder. And they basically, one was roof and something else, but they wanted you to replace those after you backed up your originals, because they were modified AutoGen files. And I actually tried this scenery with the modified files that were given to me with the second patch, I believe, or the only patch that came with the scenery, and they didn't do anything that I could tell. So there was no difference the way the scenery looked. The one issue I had when I installed the scenery in the priority order that came with the readme, the height and the elevation at the airports was all messed up. You had huge holes, you had vehicles, sub-low, buildings, subsurface, and I finally figured out that I had to bring the airport priority above everything else in the Isle of Man. It just didn't work right. So this is what I have. I'm flying, I believe this is one of the aircraft, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who this is, but I know I added the paint and I did some stuff to it, but it could be Vertavia. I might have played around with some other stuff, but one of my favorite helicopters, and I love the 4 external tanks on the aircraft. So it's pretty cool. So that's it. We're ready to go. I'm going to take it for a quick flight and come back. As you can see, some of the AI vehicles like this are working. The pushback. I was in a jet, and pushback pushed me back. There's some AI traffic flying around right now, but for the most part, that's it. Let's go ahead and take off. As you can see, right behind me over here, they're actually doing, getting ready to spray that down. And it does work. You can see the 2 firemen right there, but that whole special effects is actually working, where they're actually spraying the vehicle down and doing whatever they're doing. So let's go ahead and take off, and we'll get out of here and make this short and sweet. So get airborne. Like I said, nice dust effects here. The textures that are missing on this, I didn't think they were that bad, because I just kind of looked at it and said, well, maybe it maybe it's something they painted black for all we know. But there's an aircraft in this, so. And you also notice that there's not a lot of vegetation, trees and stuff like that. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. The cool thing about it is on an old system. Originally, when this scenery came out, even the highest system that we could pretty much put in the sim, yeah, this scenery just destroyed the computer. I mean, it was a slideshow, but this is a lot better on a newer machine and a high-end graphics card. As you can see, there's AI right there taxiing out. Matter of fact, that's the first time I've seen AI, and the construction vehicles over here are actually working, whatever they're doing. Let me show you this real quick. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, Keith. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm getting a little sloppy. Sorry about that, folks. I'm turning my head and not actually remembering I'm flying a helicopter. So as you can see that front loader right there loading the truck. And flying right over that aircraft. Whoa, sorry about that, buddy. Don't mean to scare you, but they're loading. It was all working. Originally when I had the priority wrong in the scenery priority list, none of this stuff was right. So a lot of it was underground, but we got it sorted, and looks pretty good. So considering there's nothing else out, and I don't see anyone else doing an all-in-man scenery like this for a long time, so it's photoreal. It looks good up above. The airport looks pretty nice, except for that missing textures over there. More vehicles driving around. Let's see if they're spraying yet. I also have been putting in twin bases and some of the bases from military AI works. I have poured them in, and so far it's been pretty good. Well, they're not spraying right now, but they should be spraying pretty soon. So it doesn't look that bad, and like I said, there's nothing else that's going to replace this anytime soon that I know of, unless one of the great companies does something and that just goes all out on this. But it's nice to have it. I like flying out here. So, and if you're an Isle of Man fan with the bikes and John McGinnis and Ian Hutchison and all those guys, well, it just adds to it. So. Fly right over here real quick, but yeah, you look at my frame rate, my settings are pretty high in the sim, really high. There goes that aircraft taking off. So yeah. Sorry, I can't give you the guided tour. I don't know any of these facilities, but if you look in the readme, you'll see that a lot of it's there. So like I said, a lot of this is photoreal scenery, so it looks good from up above. It doesn't look that great from down here, but let's go ahead and get airborne and give you a little shot of the helicopter. So there she is. And we've got some lights on her. I put all these lights as far as the edits and stuff like that. So not perfect, but you see a model or something you want to use, and you just got to go for it. So I can shut my landing lights off and keep my other ones on. So in a jet or a prop plane, it doesn't look that bad. You add a little weather in here, but this is pretty much something that you can at least install in and get a little bit back from your money. I mean, if you spend the money on it, and you're kind of like, well, I'd like to use it. I mean, it didn't look that great without it. I mean, this looks much better than even Vector or whatever it is that ORBX is currently running now until they come out with a global. But I said, you know, at least I get a little bit back on it, you know. So as I get, you know, higher in altitude, it looks better and more photoreal. I mean, it's really nice scenery, and nice to fly over in a helicopter or a small plane. Matter of fact, I'm going to add some weather to this. So you can see my frame rate in the top right-hand corner. I'm getting 50. And you guys that watch my videos know the specs of my machine and basically my settings in game and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and add some weather. And we'll go... Oh, no, sorry. That's not what I wanted. We'll go ORBX. See how this looks. A little haze. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, Keith. So, this is with a little bit of haze. Not going that fast. I think we're going to have to jump out of this and get into something a little quicker. So let's go ahead and do this, because I don't want to drag this out, and I don't feel like flying much longer. So, be a good aircraft. Yes, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, that's what I'm thinking right there. Oh, yes. Yep. Get this thing trimmed out. Okay. Reset my altimeter. Yep. So, real air spit for you guys that are wondering. Great little airplane. Go ahead and change the weather again. Go back to clear skies. Nope. Bring that landing gear up. And trim around. Still a great little airplane, Spitfire. I did try to put over the ATA AccuSim Spit, which I absolutely love, but unfortunately, that did not work. So as you can see, you start to get, as you go faster and faster, you start to get a little bit of the blurries. Being that the scenery is so old now, it's definitely not optimized the way, the new stuff is. But it's still a nice scenery, especially for helicopters. There's a number of helicopter pads, LCs on the island. I don't know their coordinates, but you fly around, you can find them. So, yeah. Some people love photoreal scenery. I guess if you're going to fly high and fast, or at least high, people like it. But I was never a big fan of it. I mean, it looks okay, but as you get lower to the deck, you know, I mean, yeah. So this week, I believe, was the Isle of Man, or last week. So, if you guys are familiar with that race, it's insane. Couldn't give me any money to do it. I mean, I can't even imagine. So every year, I believe at least 1 or 2 people get killed. So outside view, did a little bit of a flyby. Beautiful aircraft, the Spit. What a stunning aircraft. So we're cruising here about 300 miles an hour, and scenery doesn't look too bad. It's kind of funny, you know, when this came out, it was just mind-boggling how great it was. And of course, man, the years go by fast. So here we are, what, 7 years later. Gonna land this thing as best we can. Slow it down. I haven't done a lot of tail dragging in a long time, so see if we can. Gear coming down. I don't know what that plane's doing, but also just took off. Get a little bit too low. I told you I kind of modified it, my stick controls, some of my settings, and so far it seems to be a little bit better, but part of it is I'm just so horrible now at landing because I haven't practiced in a long time. That might be one of my better landings right there. So here we are. back at the farm. They're still not spraying, but that special effect is working, so I have seen it a few times. And if I can just find those missing textures in that parking area, I'd be pretty happy. Guess I can turn right here. Here comes another AI aircraft. Oh, that's good. I'm going this way. Yep, that works for me. This canopy a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay, this is where I'm parking her. Brakes on. Kill that engine. So that's it, folks. Prepar3D version 4, and this is the Isle Man scenery by Earth Simulations, which I did install, and this is basically what you see. So it's not perfect, but if you bought the scenery and it's just sitting in a folder somewhere and you're thinking you can't use it, you can. If you have any questions, just post them on the video, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I see it. So that's it, folks. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.